Hello everybody, welcome to Build Fly Go. So some of you saw the pictures on Instagram of the puppy pickup, and this is that flight. So we flew down to Texas near the Dallas-Fort Worth area to pick up a, a puppy for my in-laws, Mary's brother and her sister-in-law. And it was a fantastic flight. We did it was a long day flying down there. And I want to say it was about 6 hours flying down there. We spent the night we stayed at Addison, Texas, and spent the night there. And then got up bright and early the next day and flew to the little nearby airport where the puppy was, picked him up, and flew back to Sheboygan to drop him off. And then back to Madison to end the day. I want to say we had left on a Friday, and we were back on Saturday. It was a fun flight. It was definitely a lot of flying in a couple of days, but a ton of fun. Very, very worth it. A couple of interesting things. We filed IFR for a lot of this, mostly because, weather leaving Madison wasn't great, and I think you noticed there that our cameras flaked out in the beginning, so we turned them off, turned them on in the air. We were already above the clouds. But I think the bit that really got us, so we were VFR here, and as we climb, you're going to notice that it gets hazier and hazier and hazier. This was when the California wildfires were sort of at their peak, and we're nowhere near Texas yet. And this is smoke from those wildfires, and it just keeps getting worse. And you can see we're effectively IMC. So before it got this bad, I called on one of the radio stations. I don't remember which one it was. It was, filed and then picked up our clearance in the air and then went IFR onwards. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And here we go. Here we're coming in on to Addison, which is northeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's under the Bravo. We are IFR, so we are in the Bravo for a lot of this. And it was a ton of fun. It was pretty busy airspace. There's airplanes all around, and weird sort of TFRs and just like little chunks of airspace that we shouldn't go in. But we were IFR talking to controllers the entire time, and basically they're just giving us vectors. It was pretty hazy, and the airport is it was basically in towards the sun for us. So at one point, the controller had asked, let me know when you can see the airport. And I can see the airport on the screen, right? Like I know where the airport is, but I can't get my eyeballs on it because I'm just like looking into the haze, into the sun. So he basically had to give us vectors to the localizer for the airport. And at that point, we landed and spent the night here in Addison. We just walked to the hotel. This was sort of peak COVID. And we walked to the hotel, which was just a mile down the road, and spent the night, got some Thai food for dinner, and then bright and early the next morning, check everything in, show up at the FBO. People at the FBO were really nice, no issues. They even called at night after we had gotten back. They called and said, "Hey, we might have cracked your wheel pant," and I was like, "Is it the nose wheel pant?" And they're like, "Yeah, we just noticed a crack there. We're really sorry." And I was like, No. It wasn't you. It was another FBO of your same brand in Puerto Rico. And they were like, "Oh, did they pay to fix that?" And I was like, "Yes, I just haven't taken it over to get fixed yet." I was like, "Okay." So they were really nice, right? Like they noticed something and they called to say that they saw something that they think they might have damaged. And yeah, I was pretty happy with that. So here we go. We're starting up. The line person there had come up and asked if we wanted coffee, water, all of that kind of stuff. Really nice, really helpful. And looks like we're on runway 15 at Addison. We're gonna head north here, take off north. Gosh, I can't think. Northeast bound. And then we're going to, if I remember right, take a right turn and it's sort of almost directly east from here. Check it out on a chart. You'll figure it out. So we're basically exiting the airspace. We're VFR here because we're pretty certain it's going to be okay. And I believe we ended up doing the same thing. We ended up filing halfway there because it got nasty and we couldn't see. So let's speed this up until we get to our destination. Here we are. And now we're going to start seeing some good puppy shots. It was the puppy is just as cute as can be. You'll see. All right, so landing, we taxi to the fuel pumps, we top off. The FBO manager comes out, says hello, you know, the usual kind of thing. And here we have a bit of a delay because the guy with the puppy shows up and he had the wrong one. And it's not our dog, so we didn't really know very much about it other than, wait a minute, this is a male dog and we were supposed to pick up a female. So, yeah, pretty obvious mistake. And so he had to go back, and because the puppy is flying across state lines, he had to get a vet note saying she is healthy and there's no issues. So that took a while as well. And so I think we were on the ground for maybe an hour waiting for the puppy to show up. And then finally, here she is. We named her Snowball. And she slept pretty much the entire time. I think she woke up at one point when we were descending into our fuel stop. And I think she could feel the pressure change, and she just started yelping as puppies do and making puppy noises. And I could just lightly hear the yelping over the airplane noise. But other than that, she slept the entire time. It was fantastic. Here we go. So this the pickup was in Athens, Texas, which was Fox 44. It was about just over 4 to 5 minutes from Addison, so pretty close, pretty easy flight. No big deal there. The next stop we have coming up is in Missouri. It's in Lebanon, Missouri, which was, oh gosh, how long was that? I'm going to guess it was a couple of hours. From Athens, Texas, all the way to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, where we dropped her off. It was just under 6 hours of flying. So a reasonably long day, and honestly, that's longer than I really ever want to deal with. It's another 45 minutes from Sheboygan to Madison. So in the end, that day we had about 6.5 hours flying, and that's a lot of time in a little airplane. Honestly, it's a lot of time in any airplane, but it's a lot of time in a little airplane. So I was exhausted. So here we are coming up on Lebanon. And Lebanon was interesting. It was a little bigger town, right? The airport is much closer to town, and it's a bigger town than Athens was. So there's a little bit more of an FBO and more activity, if you will. There are a couple of airplanes coming and going. There are some training flights. So it was pretty fun. Fuel truck to top us off. The fuel pumps weren't working. They charged us. They were nice enough, and they charged the fuel pump price for the full service top off. Oh, there she is. So you'll have some cute puppy in the corner of the video shots here. She drank a good bit of water on the way there, and unfortunately did sort of as expected have some cleanup to do in the back. We had a crate in the back of the airplane where she was in most of the time, or the entire time rather. And she, did go to the bathroom in the crate, so we had to clean that up. No big deal. It was there's pads, and we had everything ready for that. But she's so cute. Look at that. What a cute little dog. And supposedly she is humongous now. I'll try and find a picture of what she looks like today. But yeah, that tiny little dog is now humongous. I can't imagine how much food she's eating. But anyway, so here we go. We're leaving Lebanon, and we're going to head all the way up to Sheboygan, in sort of east central, northeast central-ish Wisconsin, along pretty close to the water, to Lake Michigan. Fast forward to this, it's a lot of scenery, nothing really exciting going on here. So you get the 20x speed on the time lapse. So this is 4 hours zooming by. And it's interesting to see the sort of the landscape change, right? There's a lot of green further south, and then we're seeing a lot more sort of farmland here where the crops have been already harvested, and then sort of mixed use. But here we are coming up on Sheboygan. You can see Lake Michigan sort of on the distance on the right. And there is the airport. Yep, there's the airport. I don't believe we had any issues with wind or anything like that on this trip. The flights were all, nothing too bumpy, fairly smooth, no big crosswinds or anything. So we're coming up on the FBO. We see this is an interesting airport. So Kohler, that makes the bathroom toilets and fixtures and all that kind of stuff, is near here. So they use this as their corporate airport. So this is a 2-runway airport that gets very, very little traffic, but it gets a lot of jets because of the Kohler factory and headquarters and all that kind of stuff. And they're also opening a customs and immigration processing center here for the jets, because apparently these jets are big enough that they're going international. So your tax dollars at work there, subsidizing, making it easier for the big corporate jets to not have to stop elsewhere to do customs and immigration. But anyway, so here we go. On our way to Madison. We are both exhausted at this point. Ben, Mary's brother, was a savior here, and he got us pizza. You can see we're eating pizza in the plane right now. So, we were pretty hungry. We had skipped lunch, but we managed to scarf down some pizza in the 40 minutes on our way back to Madison. And that definitely made me a much happier person. This looks like 2-1. Yep, there's 2-1. And then we taxi Bravo 3 Delta to the south ramp. All right. Well, thanks for following along. This was a fun little trip. We'll talk soon. Let's go build an airplane.